everyone. Just give me seconds. Okay, so hello everyone, and welcome to another Analytics Masterclass. And we're gonna have fun, of course. I always say that. If you've been in any one of my sessions, you know that is the where I sort of begins. So he talks about fun, and at the end of the day, we end up having fun. Okay, and we're gonna be doing that again today. But before we go ahead, there are certain things I would like to talk about because taking a look at the topic today, which is web scraping, of course, because we are going to be exploring data analytics, and we'll be exploring a section of data analytics that's talking about web scraping and how you can work with Power BI, which is actually known as Power Business Intelligence, in scraping data from the web. Hence the reason it's called web scraping. Okay, so that's what we're here to do. But looking at that topic, something that so many of us have really not understood, even up till now, is the relevance of data. Okay, it's the relevance of data, because for many of us, you probably know that time when you made the decision and you came to regret it later on. Gone are the days where things were done based on guesswork. It's now, all decisions are now made based on data. And that's the reason why we're having this session, so that we make each and every one of you on the call data analyst at the end of the session. So yeah, maybe not a full-fledged data analyst yet, but at least you'll be able to carry out some data analytics functions. So that way, I guess you could say you are a data analyst, okay? So today, we're just going to go into it. No fluff, no jargons. We're just giving you pure, unadulterated information about how you can work with Power BI in web scraping. But before we move on, I would like to ensure that each and every one of you on the call are currently with me. I would like to ensure that each and every one of you on the call and me, that we are all on the same wavelength, all on the same frequency, so that the communication is seamless. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to do a little exercise. Okay? All right, we're going to have a little exercise. And how is the exercise going to go? And there might be a prize for the winner. There might be a prize for for the winner of the exercise. Okay, there might be a prize. There might not be a prize. I'll let you know. But let's listen. Okay, let's listen. So what is the exercise? The exercise is the first person to send to the chat box telling us where they are from and the career paths that they would like to get into, all right, in tech, would earn a prize for me. And I'm telling you right now, there is a prize. I'm telling you right now that there is a prize. You can hold my words, hold my words to it. I think that's the way it goes. Okay. So what do you need to do? You need to send your location and the path that you're looking to get into. Okay, so who was the very first person? Who was the very first person? So we can see we have responses coming in already. So we have Olayinka. Olayinka is looking to get into data analytics and is from the UK. So currently located in the UK. We have Joy looking to get into HR analytics, and currently in Canada we have Adeyemi also looking to get into data analytics. And in the UK, Matthew in Nigeria gets into data analytics. Temi Tokwe from the US, that's Austin, Texas, looking to get into cybersecurity. Fantastic. So more responses are coming in. More responses are coming in for the first three persons. The first three persons on the call. All right. The first three persons on the call. That's Olayinka, Joy, and Adeyemi. Sorry, the first three persons that responded. That's Olayinka, Joy, and Adeyemi. So I have a special present for you. And in case if I forget, remind me. Okay. At the end of the session, I have a special present for you. Okay. So yes. And we're going to have this kind of challenges as we move on. So it's going to be an exciting section. We're going to have games. We're going to have this kind of stuff. Okay. So be prepared. So you get to win something as well from my sister. Anyways, welcome again, everyone, to the session. And we're just going to go ahead so we don't spend time, because we're going to dissect everything that has to do with web scraping and data analytics. We're going to dissect all of that in less than 2 hours. Get what we need so we can go back to our lives, because of course, at the end of the day, we are all adults and we have things that we need to get on, right? Yeah. So the topic, okay? Just give a moment. Am I showing my screen? Okay, I think I'm having an issue showing my screen. Okay, so I'm having some issues sharing my screen. I'll probably have to check that out later on. Okay, I'll probably have to check that later. Check that out later on. Sorry about that, everyone. So, the topic for today, what we are taking a look at is how you can build, deploy, and automate a web scraping report, right? Using Power BI, that's Power Business Intelligence. And firstly, about analytics, what we do at analytics. Thank you very much, Akuna. All right. So what we do at Analytics is we're an edtech firm, right? I'm sure many of us know that already. And we help you achieve your dreams, as I love to say. Okay. At Analytics, we are Santa Claus or Father Christmas, as you know, as is known in some other parts of the world. And we make dreams come true, just like Santa Claus make the dreams of kids come true. We make your dreams come true, and that's helping you transition into the right career path of your dreams, into the path that you've been looking to get into, talking about tech, right? For you to have that good work-life balance, make decent money, to live the life that you want to live. That's what we do. And we have programs ranging from data analytics to data science to HR analytics to financial analytics, HR project management to cybersecurity, data engineering, and of course, data science, right? And yeah, so that's about it. That's what we do. Okay, so you're in good hands. And about me. So Akuna, please, if you could move to my profile. Okay, so about me, I'm Aisha Sagmalaho, as you can see from the name tag at the bottom left, and I'm the lead in charge of training and operations at Tenalytics. So I have diverse experience in different sectors, from data analytics to predictive AI engineering. But yeah, enough about that. And I've been able to work across different organizations, across different companies, across different countries, from the US to Canada to Singapore to Nigeria and the UK as well. And therefore trained over 2,500 participants, right? Yeah, enough about me. I'll come in later on and I'll talk about there'll be more games, of course, more challenges. We'll have fun. Okay, we'll see how you can get into the career path of your dreams. But taking a look at the very first section of what we are here to deal on, talking about web scraping. I have my colleague with me on the call, Akuna. All right, so Akuna is a fantastic professional, seasoned expert when it comes to the realm of data analytics and data science. So Akuna, please, do you want to move to the next slide? And she has been able to train so many participants. She has lots and lots and lots of experience in this regard. So Akuna is going to take the serious part. I'm a fun guy, so I don't like serious things. Okay, so Akuna is going to handle all of the serious parts, talk about how you can use Power BI, and then when she's done, I will come in and then we'll have some fun. And I'm sure we are all excited for that. Okay, so thank you, everyone. I'm going to come in later on while I hand over to my colleague Akuna.
Right, thank you so much, Esosa.
So over to you, please.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, we can
Please,
hear
am I
you.
audible?
Yes, you are.
All right, so hi, everyone. Good afternoon to you, good morning to you, and good evening to you, depending on your location. All right. So Esosa has said it all. I've come for the very, very serious part. Okay. All right. So similar to what you already know, this particular masterclass is around building, deploying, and automating a Power BI report. All right. So have you ever been in a situation where you went to a particular site and, for instance, you wanted to copy a table and you were copying it one by one? You go to this particular value, you copy it, you go to your local system, paste it there, you go again, you copy it, you go to your local system and you paste it. It's quite strenuous, right? It's very, very strenuous. All right. So I want to show you how you can automate that. Imagine if you could use Power BI to help you copy those things automatically without you having to go manually to copy all of that. All right, so that's what I'm going to show you today. So before I go on, just to be sure that we're all on the same page, so I'm going to go to the chat box now. And I would like everyone to, reply in the chat box. Please give me a definition of web scraping. What do you think scraping is? What is web scraping to you? Anybody, you could just type it. I'm going to read it out for you on your behalf. What is web scraping? Interesting. So Emmanuel says extracting data from web pages. Beautiful. All right. Another person. I would like to see more feedback, please. So it's just Emmanuel that knows what web scraping is. Okay, so Joy says getting data from websites in real time. Interesting. Okay. Gloria says web searching for data. Okay. All right. Let me go down a bit before we go on. Okay. Okay. All right. Wilfred says getting data in real time, easier way to extract data, etc. Extracting data using the bot's content from a website. Beautiful. So in essence, from what you have said so far, web scraping has to do with what? Getting data from a website. All right, extracting data from a website. So today, I'm going to show you how to use the Power BI tool to extract data from the website. Amazingly, a lot of people don't know that you can actually use Power BI to scrape. A lot of people, amazingly, don't actually know that it's possible for you to use Power BI to scrape your data from the website. I think the tools that are common or they think they know, all right, is the Python and some other APIs there that you can actually use to scrape data from the website. So the truth is that Power BI can actually help you do that today, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's move on. Let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so this is the overview, all right? I'm just going to give you an overview and then we'll go to the practical aspects, okay? So a startup company plans to enter the laptop markets and seeks to understand their competitive pricing. That is by analyzing their competitors. So lacking the necessary data, they aim to acquire this information through web scraping. That is by extracting data from their competitors, all right, their websites. So the objective is actually to identify the minimum and the maximum prices of laptops from their various competitors. So today, we are going to scrape data from sites like Jumia, sites like VJ, all right? So we also have eBay, we have Amazon, we have AliExpress. There are many, we have GG, all right? So there are many sites you could actually go to actually scrape data from. But for today, we're gonna go to these two sites you're seeing on the screen, and we're gonna get the information from these sites. From Jumia, we'll get the information on their laptop, we'll get the prices, we'll get the discount prices, we get the discounts, the percentage themselves, etc. And by so doing, if I go back a bit, we'll be able to, calculate the minimum and the maximum prices of the laptops based on the information that will be gotten from these websites. So it's definitely going to be an interesting project. All right. Now, as you can see here, okay, let me go back a bit. As you can see here, you can see the Jumia website. That's if you follow that link, you see the Jumia website there where you have the laptops, you have their various prices, you can see the discount percentage there. Like the first one that we have 400,999 Naira. And the discount there is 20% discount. All right, that is out of 500. So normally this laptop actually costs 500,000. All right, but the discounted price is actually 400,999 at a 20% discount. All right, so things like that, we're actually going to use that to create our report today. And same goes for the VJ sales that you can see just beneath. All right, so our aim as well is to convert what's on the left into what's on the right. We want to convert the data we're going to scrape into the marketing reports on the right. So once we are done scraping the data, we're not just going to keep the data there lying and doing nothing. All right, we're actually going to convert that data, transform it, clean it, do all we're supposed to do, and then create a very simple marketing report that you can see on the right. So from this marketing report, you can see we have the minimum price in rupees, the maximum price in rupees as well. That is from the VJ data set. All right. We also have the minimum price, that is 1,138 Naira, all right, in Naira from Jumia site, and the maximum price also from Jumia site. So you can see we're able to gauge that as well, the minimum and the maximum from both websites. All right. You can also gauge the minimum discount, the maximum discount, the minimum discount as well for Jumia, and the maximum discount. So aside that, we're also going to create a line chart. We call this a line chart. All right. We're going to create a line chart that helps us see the difference between the real price without discount and the discounted price. All right. So we want to see the real price. That is for this training, we'll call it the full price. Okay. We want to see the difference between the full price and the discounted price for both platforms. All right. So that's what we're going to create today. So are you ready? Let's go. So I will stop sharing my screen now, and I will share my entire screen and show you how to go about that. So for this training, you're going to need your Power BI desktop application. All right. So if you want to go through this training, if you want to create what we are creating now, you're going to need your Power BI desktop application. Okay. So very quickly, as you can see on the screen, we have our Jumia website here. Okay. And then towards the left-hand side, we also have VJ over here. All right. So let's go to our Power BI desktop application. Okay. So if you want to start web scraping, the first thing you need to do is you need to connect to the website you want to scrape data from. All right. So the URL of the Jumia website, the URL of the VJ website, you have to collect that, and then you'll be able to scrape the data from those websites. So the very first thing you're going to do now is you are going to go to get data. Okay. You click on get data. So once you click on get data, you're going to search for web, meaning I want to get my data from a website. All right. So I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to look for where we have web. I think I passed it. So maybe I could just search this here. Yeah, that was easier. So I'll just select web. All right. I'll click on web here and I'll click on connect. All right, to connect to the website. It's going to take some time to load. Beautiful. So when you're able to connect to the website, this is where you're going to paste your URL. So we're going to start scraping Jumia before we go to scraping VJ, right? So I'm going to go back to my website here. I would copy the link we have here. This is the website link. This is where I want to scrape my data from, all right? And I'll go back to my Power BI desktop. I'll paste this here and I'll click on OK. So this is going to take some time, all right, because it's actually going to the website and it's trying to scrape data from the web page, right? So you have to be patient at this point. Okay, still loading. So we're about to see what has been scraped, all right? So that is why this navigator panel has been opened. Beautiful, amazing, right? Amazing. So towards the left-hand side, you can see table 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So these are the data, all right, that has been scraped. So if I click here on table 1, if you look towards the right-hand side, you can see MacBook Pro, that is refurbished laptop. You can see information basically from that website. And if you want to be sure what part of the website this particular information was scraped, from, you can go to where we have web view. You click on the web view and you'll be able to see the web view of the scraped data. Amazing, amazing. So let's go back to our table view. And we can see this, all right? We can see the laptop price, cards, etc., etc. All right, so we have all of these here. We can try the next table, table 2. So you can see that what we have in table 2 we don't need that. I mean, it makes no sense to us right now, all right? We can check table 3, same thing, table 4, same thing, table 5, same thing, all right? Table 6, table 7, all right? So from the script data, we have seen that table 1 fits what we want for this project, all right? So I'm going to work with table 1. And so to work with table 1, we're going to check here, check the table. So if you notice, once we checked the table 1, this down part where we have load, transform, cancel sort of appeared, all right? It's got active, it got activated, all right? So we're going to click on transform data. Normally, once you get data from the website, you scrape them, they come back with different kinds of issues, all right? They come back with assorted, okay? So it's left to you to clean the data, to wash the data, to prepare the data for your final report. And that's what we're about to do. So instead of just loading the data as it is to create a report, we're going to transform the data to what we need it to be to create the marketing report we are about to create. So I'm going to click on transform data. So once I click on transform data, the Power Query appears. Okay, it opens up, it pops up open, all right? And it's on the Power Query that we're going to start performing our data cleaning steps, step by step. All right, so now that we are done with that, the first thing we're going to do is we are going to rename this table. I mean, we can't continue to call it table 1, right? So we're going to rename it to Jumia. Jumia, all right? So you can call it Jumia. Now you can see the various laptop names here. We have this, okay, this is like the full price, okay? This particular column, this is column 2. You can see pay on delivery, we don't need this. Add to carts, we don't need that. We don't need this either. So what we're looking for, the 3 columns we need are full price, the discount percentage, and the discounted price. So we're looking for these 3 columns, all right? So over here, we have the discounted price, that is column 7, and then we have the discount itself, which should be column 8. So what do we do from here? Very simple. We'll go back to the stats, and we're going to rename the columns so that we don't get confused. So I'm going to double click over here on the column header, and I'll name it what? Full price. And I'll hit enter. Beautiful, it has been renamed. Then I'll go to the next one, which is what? Discounted price. I'll double click on it and I'll put discounted price. And I'll hit enter. Afterwards, I go again to column 8 and I'll name it from column 8 to discount, okay? And we already know that discount is supposed to be in the percentage format. Beautiful, so there we have it. There we have it, okay? Sorry, a minute. Let me check something. All right. Okay. So now you might be asking, do we really need to be seeing the other columns, etc.? Do we really need to see them? No. So we're actually going to delete the unnecessary columns so that we don't get confused. Okay, so I don't have to be scrolling to the extreme right every time I need to go and check the discounted price. Okay, so I'm going to go up now. I'm going to right click on this and I can click on remove. So if I click on remove, it removes that particular column. All right, so I'm just going to quickly do this for the rest of them. Right, so I can just click on shift and the right arrow key. Okay, and I'll just remove the columns. I'll go to column 9 and I'll do the same. Column 9 and 10. Beautiful. So now we are done removing the unnecessary columns because now we have the 3 columns that we actually need. So what's next? Like I said, we are performing what? Data cleaning. We're trying to transform our data to what we need it to be. Now, as you can see, we have the Naira sign here, which we don't need at the moment, okay? We don't need to be seeing the Naira symbol there. So you ask, how can I get rid of the Naira symbol? All right, so very quickly, you come to full price, you right click, and you go to replace values. So when you click on replace values, you're gonna get, oh, I was supposed to copy this. So I'm just gonna copy the Naira symbol so I can copy and paste it there, all right? So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'll click on full price, I'll right click, I will go down to replace values, and then I'll put the value I want to replace. So I want to replace the Naira symbol in that particular column with nothing, right? I just want an empty space. I don't want anything in its place. So I'll click on OK. And once I'm done doing that, automatically, you can see that this changes. It's gone. So I'm going to do the same thing for discounted price. Beautiful. So I'm done for that. All right. So let's look at discounts. So I think we're done with this. Another thing we could also do is we could also get rid of the null. All right. You don't want to be seeing the rows with the null value. So what do? We go to this filter pane, this inverted triangle, we click on it, and we just we uncheck the null checkbox to remove the null values, and then we hit OK. Automatically, all the null values are removed, all right, they are filtered, okay? So now that we're done with that, the next thing we're going to do is we want to check the data types. You are going to meet situations as a data analyst where, for instance, a particular value is supposed to be a number, but the system is not seeing it as a number, but it's seeing it as a text. So situations where you want to add that number with another number, you cannot add a text to a number. You can only aggregate numbers together. So things like that, that's why you need to go back to your data types and check all of them, okay? So very quickly, I'm going to check the data type of this particular column. And for me to check the data type, I'll just select the column and I can look up here, or I could double click on ABC and I could change it. So right now I need this data type to be a whole number. Beautiful, I need it to be a whole number and I'm good with this, okay? Then for the discounted price, it's also going to be a whole number. So I'll just double click here and I'll change it to be what? A whole number. Okay. Then for the discount is already in the percentage format. Okay. So we could actually leave it just the way it is. Okay. We could leave it this way. It's already in the percentage format. So this is okay. I think we are good to go with this. So once you're done with this, remember we still have another website to scrape from. This is the VJ website. Okay. So if you want to scrape from the VJ website, you go to where we have new source. You click on new source. And then once again, you select the web and you type in the URL for the VGA website, right? So I'm just going to select web here. I'll just search for it, select web, click on connect. I believe you're already used to this process. And then I'll go back to my website and I would copy the URL and I'll come back to my Power BI desktop and I will paste it there. So this is the website for VJ Sales and I'll click OK. If you see this, just continue, just say connect. So it's currently scraping the websites to get in the laptop values. Well, it's taking some time, right? So let's just be patient. Beautiful. So it's still scraping. So times web scraping actually takes time once it's scraping, okay? So you just need to wait for it to do its work, all right? Beautiful. So we're done. It's done scraping. Okay, so just to save your time, table 2, table 3, table 4, we don't need that. Okay, the information found in them do not benefit us in any way. All right, so we're going to go with table 1. And you can see it has what we need to the right. Okay. Okay, so we'll go with table 1. Right, so we'll check it and we'll hit OK. All right, so there we have it. We have the VJ table, okay, and we have some information from it. Hmm. All right, so that's fine. So we're going to rename this to VJ. We're going to rename this to VJ. And as you can see, I'm trying to check out for some values. Seems like the data was not able to scrape some values. So very quickly, let me just go back to the source, click on the source, and scrape it again to be sure. I'm trying to get the values for full price, discounted price, and the discount itself, okay? So that's what I want. And we have it here actually. All right, so let's go back. Okay, it's taking time. Wow, this is taking too long apparently. So let's just wait a bit. All right, so let me check the table one again. Table two, table three, table four. Okay, so apparently, um, it didn't scrape the entire data needed from that particular site. Okay, so not to waste time, we'll just work with the data that we have at the moment, right? With Jumia and that of VJ, all right? The data that we have. Okay, so very quickly, I'm going to work on VJ like I did before. I already renamed it from table one to VJ. So I'm going to come over here. If you notice, column one and column two are actually the same, which contains the laptop name. All right, so I'm just going to delete column two. I'm going to delete column three, and I'm going to leave column four. All right, so I'll right click and I'll remove the columns. Then I'll come to column five. We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need them. So the columns that I'm currently highlighting are not needed. Okay, so I'm going to double click on column one, and I'm going to rename it to laptop name one. And I'm going to rename this now, this particular value. Let me confirm what value it is. So that particular value we're seeing there is actually, all right, it's actually the real price, okay? The price before discount, okay? So we'll call it the full price. Now hit enter, okay? So I could call it full price one because once we are creating the reports, I don't want us to get confused. So I'll call it full price one, similar to laptop name one. So I'm going to go back to Jumia as well to rename it from MacBook Pro refurbished to laptop name. So now once we're done doing this, I can see full price one, everything is okay, all right? So very quickly, we're gonna save what we have done so far so that we can go over to the reports. And for you to do that, you go to close and apply, all right? So it's gonna close what you have done in Power Query and it's going to apply the changes, all right? So we're gonna wait for that to happen quickly. All right, so that's taking some time. You just have to be patient with Power BI at times. Wow, it's taking some time. Wow. Okay. It's normally not supposed to take this long. Okay, so let me just close this particular window to be sure what's going on. So let me just apply changes here. Okay. So it's still loading the data. It's currently evaluating what you have done. Okay, so let's just go to table and let us see what we have there. Okay, we don't have any table. So apparently it didn't load very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to see what's going on. Okay, so very quickly, let me just go back to the get data source and see what went wrong. Okay, so very quickly, I'm going to do what I did before quickly. Hopefully it works this time. It's supposed to get loaded because we are actually behind time. So I'll just do everything over very quickly and I'll rush up what I'm doing. I'll just tell you what I'm doing quickly. So I'm scraping again and I'm going to load everything up again. Now, because of the time, because we don't have enough time, I'm not going to scrape for VJ again. So I'm just going to scrape only for Jumia and we'll just compare the price for Jumia. All right. So I'm going to go to transform very quickly. The Power Query is going to open itself. Okay, we already have the previous data. Okay. So let me delete this. And let me delete the VJ as well. So I'm just going to have only Jumia. All right. And I think this should work. So I'm just going to close this and we're going to open it there. So we should have this imported. Okay. So once it's done loading, we're going to go to the table view here to add the currency. Okay, I'm going to show you how to add the currency. So beautiful, it has loaded successfully. All right. So probably VJ had an issue. So I'm going to go to table view here. I'll click on table view. So I should be able to see my Jumia information here. So I'll click here as well. So I can see the discounted, I can see discounted price, etc. Okay, so we have everything here as you can see. All right, so let's say I want to include in this particular column the Naira sign. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll select this I'll go over here to where we have the dollar sign. I would click there. I'll select that, click on the drop down, and then I'll look for where we have Yoruba Naira. Okay, I'm going to go down to where we have Naira. Okay, you can click on Yoruba Naira. All right. So I'm looking for Yoruba Naira. I know it's somewhere down, but looks like it's a lot. Okay, so I can't find this at the moment. So instead, I think I'll just select the dollar sign, all right, to save time. But if you want to change it to Naira, you have to look for where we have the Yoruba Naira, all right? And you change that. So I'm going to do the same thing as well for discounted price. I will select it and I'll just click on the dollar sign, all right? If you want to change it to euros, do the same thing. Rupees, do the same thing, all right? So now that we're also done changing it to dollars, I'm also going to convert the discount to percentage. So I'm going to select this here, and I'm going to go over to this percentage sign, and I'll click on that, and it's being converted to percentage. Beautiful. So we have what we need now. This is actually what we need. We are good to go. So I'll go back to my report view, and I'll start creating the report, just focusing on Power BI, or rather focusing on Jumia for now. All right, remember, we left out the VJ web scraping. Okay, so now the first thing we're going to do, looking at what we are aiming for, is what? The marketing reports. We're going to do what? The line charts. Okay, so for the line chart, we want to check the difference between Jumia's discounted price and the real price, the original price before discount. So for us to do that, we're going to go to the right-hand side. First of all, under data, you can see Jumia. You can also see the columns under Jumia. So you could just note that. So we're going to go down. We're going to look for the line charts, which is this. We drag it and we'll drop it here. All right. So drag it and drop it so we can bring it down. We can bring it down to the middle. Okay. So afterwards, we have just beneath here where my cursor is, we have what's going to be on the x-axis, what's going to be on the y-axis. Okay. And what's also going to be on the secondary axis. Okay. So for this particular chart now, on the x-axis, we are going to have, since we're trying to get what? We're trying to get the discounted price, and what else? We're also trying to get the full price. Okay, so for this particular one, we take laptop name to the x-axis, right? And we're going to take full price to the y-axis, and then we're going to take discounted price to the secondary y-axis. So if you look at this chart, it's a bit small. I'm going to make it bigger. If you look at this chart now, let me make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. So you can see that on the x-axis, we have the laptop names indeed. On the y-axis, we have the secondary y-axis and the normal y-axis. We have the discounted price and the full price, okay? And from here, you can see that, for instance, where my cursor is, let me make this bigger. You can see that the blue line is actually the discounted price. So you can see that some of the discounted prices, they have the difference between the discounted price and the full price is much. So for situations where you have this difference, this big difference, you can tell that the discount for this particular product was very high. Okay, so you could also note things like that. So now definitely this is not what we want it to look like. So I'm going to close this. Okay. All right, so I'll just leave that. Okay, so for this particular view now, I'm going to make some changes. I'm going to make some edits. I'm going to try to remove the noise in the data sets, or rather in the charts. Okay, we're going to change the colors, etc., etc. So for us to do that, you select the charts, you go to the right hand side once again, you go to where we have format your visual. So the first thing I would like to change would be the colors, okay? I would like to change the colors of the lines, okay, to maybe blend with what we want. So for me to change the color of the lines, I would go down to X to Y axis. I'll click that. I'll go down. Okay, so I'll go down. I'll click on the values. Okay, let's start this way. Instead of going just anyhow, let me show you how to change the background first of all before we start doing all of this. So first of all, let's change the background of the chat, and then we'll start changing what's on top of the chat so that we can actually see it very well. All right, so for the background, I will change it to, I have some codes here that I would prefer to just type out. So I'll click on more colors. So for more colors, the first background change I'm going to do is, I'm going to change the background to this particular shade, similar to what we actually did on the slides, okay? So we're going to put 27, 2B, 2F, okay? Beautiful. So you can see there's a change, all right? So for the background, we need this particular color. So you can change that here. So the next thing as well that we are actually going to change aside the background color is we're going to remove the grid lines. Okay, so you can see the grid lines are actually causing some form of noise. Okay, so for us to change the grid lines, I believe one of us must have seen the grid lines before. All right, so we'll go to visual, can close this, we'll go down to grid lines, and we can off the horizontal grid line so that it doesn't show. So you can see that the horizontal grid line has been removed. Okay. Now, aside that, the next thing we're going to do now is we are going to also go ahead to change the font size, okay? The font size of the text that we have on the chart, okay? So we want some of them to be more visible, etc. So for us to change the font size, we'll go to the x-axis. So I'll just close this and I'll scroll up. So we have the x-axis and we change the font size from what it is right now to 11 to make it what? Bigger, so that it will be easy for us to actually see. So I've changed the font size for the x-axis, okay? All right, and I'm also going to change the font color for the x-axis. You also need to change that so that it's more visible to those who are going through it. So I'm going to click on color. I'll go to more colors, and then I'm going to type out the color that I have here. So I have 8, I have A, all right, I have 8A. So mind you, when you're doing yours, you don't need to get all of this, but because I did this before now, I just wrote out the color codes to save our time. So I'll do that. I'll hit enter, and you can see that the color for the x-axis is now popping, all right? It's a bit different, okay? So now once you're done doing that, we'll now go to the y-axis to work on the y-axis. So I'll click on the y-axis, and similar to what we did for the y-axis, I'll go down to values. I would make sure that the value now becomes, for the y-axis, we can leave it as, okay, we can change it to 11. And then we're going to change the color to the same color we had for X, which is this color, all right? So instead of typing it again, you can just come here and click on this color. All right. So once you're done doing that, you can see that it's looking more appealing. All right. It looks better. Okay. So now once you're done changing the axis, you also need to go to the secondary axis, the lines that we have over here. Okay. The values such as 1.5 million, etc. So we'll have to change that as well, similar to what we did for the X and the Y axis. So I'll just close this. I'll come here. I'll go down. I'll click on values. I'll change this to 11, font 11. I'll change the color to that particular color I chose before. And you can see now it's popping. All right. So that's exactly what I want. I want it to be visible. All right. So that's it for that. I think we're done with changing the axis. I think this looks good. All right. So like I said before, the next thing now we're going to work on would be what? The lines. And for you to change the line color, all right, you're going to scroll down a bit and you're going to see the lines. So you click on the lines, then you go down and you see color. All right, click on color. So right now, I want to change this color to orange. So I could just come up here and select this particular shade. All right, and this is okay. So you can see it's also popping on the charts. Okay, so that's why it's always good for you to, you're going to try out lots and lots of colors to see what works with your chart. Okay, so now that I'm done doing that, yeah, once I'm done doing that, I'm going to go up again and I'm going to select the next line. So now I'm going to select, because that particular line is for sum of full price. So I'm going to select sum of discounted price. And I'm going to go down and I'm going to change the color from blue to, so I chose the second gray, yeah? So I'm going to click that. Yeah, so this is actually what I chose initially. All right, from blue to this. So you can see that it's quite obvious. It's very easy for you to see these colors on your charts. Another thing you could also do is you could also change the interpolation type to smooth. So all this sharp edge, etc., we don't want that. We want it to be smooth. And you can see the interpolation for sum of discounted price has become what? Smooth. So let's go back and change for sum of full price. We'll change the interpolation to smooth from linear. Good. So you can see it gives us a better feel than having just the sharp edges. Okay? Okay, so now that we're done with that, the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to change the color of the title. Okay, so we could get this title where we have some of, because I'm pretty sure some of us are not seeing it very well. So we can actually change that. And for us to change that, as usual, we're going to go to format your visual. We'll go to general. All right, we go to where we have title. And then we also scroll down to where we have text color. So I'll just uncheck this so we can see everything. Text color, text color. So we'll come here. So right now, this is the color, as you can see, of the title. So I'm going to change that. And I want to change that to, I put second white, all right? So this is going to be this, okay? So I've changed it to this. And you can see now it's popping. The chat title now is visible and obvious to us. So that's how you do it. So you just need to get used to how you go about changing some of these things. Now we're not still done, all right? We need to still change the legend and all of that. All right, so for us to change the legend, we'll go to the visual, we'll go to legend, and we'll scroll down to title. We go to color, and I chose the light gray color. So this is it. So you can see it's, okay, it's not really giving me what I want, so I could choose this. Okay, let me check another one. Okay, I think this is a bit better. Okay, so now I've changed this. Okay, so like I'm saying, we're all still working on editing the charts, So now that we're done with this, I believe we are actually done with everything. So another thing we could do before we move on to the next chart is we can give this particular line chart rounded borders. If you notice, similar to what was here for the discounted price and the full price, the numbers, they had sharp edges before until we made them smooth. So we can actually give these round edges. So the border can become rounded. And for us to change the border, we have to go to general. We'll go to, let me close this. We'll go to effects. So we've already changed the background before, so that's fine. So we can go to visual border on it. And for the border, we want to make it what? Rounded, okay? And for us to make it rounded, we'll come here. I'm thinking we could make it like 5 pixels. Let's see. Okay, let's change it a bit. Okay, I think this is okay, right? So you can see that this actually now looks much better than what we actually had initially, all right? So this is it. Now that we're done with this, the next part, or rather the next thing we want to do is we want to input, since we don't have the VJ, if not, we would have just copy and pasted this and gotten the VGA laptop full price and discounted price as well, okay? So now for this, we're actually going to create multi-cards. So these multi-cards will be able to help us see the minimum price and the maximum price, the minimum discount and the maximum discount. And for us to do this, I'm going to come here to where we have, I'll just click outside first of all, click here on the sheet, and I'll come here to where we have the multi-row card, okay? We'll go to the multi-row card. So I'll click on that, and it appears here, as you can see, all right? So I'll just put it here. And so for the multi-row card, like I said, we want to have on it, we want to have the full price, okay? And from the full price, we get the maximum full price and the minimum full price. So I'll come to my extreme right, I'll carry the full price and I'll drop it in the field. I'll go back again, carry the full price again and drop it in the field, okay? So now from this full price, I want to get the maximum and the minimum. I'll start with the minimum before I go to the maximum. So I'll go to this inverted sign, I'll click there, then I'll go down to minimum or up to minimum. I'll come to the next one, I'll move up to maximum, all right? So from here, you can see, let me just make it a bit bigger. All right, so from here, you can see that we actually have, okay, that we actually have the maximum and the minimum. The minimum price from what we have now is $9,500, okay, from the Jumia platform. And the maximum item is $755,000, all right, for the most expensive laptop item. So that's incredible, okay? So now, once we're done getting this value, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to step by step, okay? We're going to edit this so that it looks similar to what we have here. It looks fine, like the line chart. So I'm going to click on this. And the first thing I'm going to do, as usual, is to work on the background, okay? To style the background, okay? So let's do that quickly. I'm going to go to form. I'll click on this. Okay, then I'll go to format visual. Okay, let's start with the call out values. That is the values themselves. Okay, I'll go to visual. I'll go to the call out values. The call out values I put here, I put the font 26 so that it can be very bold. So you can see now it's very bold, beautiful. All right. Then what else? As far as the call out values, we can go back to general. We can go to effects. And then we can go to the background. So let me get the background value that I put here. I think the background I put here was the background for this chat. Okay, so let me go back. I should be able to select the background from the list. Okay, I think this is the background I actually used. Okay. Yeah, this is the background, all right? So now that I've seen this background, you can see that the color value is no longer popping because it's not white. So we have to change the color value to white. So very quickly, let's go back to the visual. Let's go back to the color value. Let's change it to white. Okay, so it's popping a bit now. And yeah, I think this is okay. Okay, let's look at the call out labels. Instead of having it as this color, we could make it a little bit brighter. So I could use this particular shade. Okay, let me see if it could be a little bit dim. All right, so this is okay. All right, so we have done the call out values, we have done the call out labels. All right, now another thing that we could also do now is to work on the borders. All right, to make it rounded, similar to what we also did for this. Okay, and so for us to work on the borders as usual, you have to go to effects. After going to general, you go down to effects, and then you scroll down and you on the border. First of all, you have to switch on the border, and you can increase it a bit so that it looks good. All right, so now we have our border. Okay, this is okay. So I'm just going to reduce the size. And now, aside this, remember, I still want to get what? I still want to get the maximum and the minimum discount values. Okay, so I'm just going to do Control C on this, and I'll do Control V to copy and paste this to save time. I mean, I don't want to do all of this again. And I could just organize this here. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go to the extreme right. Okay, I'm going to go to the extreme right, and I'm going to change what we have there from full price to discount. So I'll just click on this, it gets emptied, and then I'll just get the discount. Right, so I want to see the highest discount and the lowest discount. All right, so I'm going to go to the minimum value. Okay, so the minimum, the lowest discount is 4%, and the highest discount is 83%. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so this is it. Another thing we could also do is we could add a title to our chat. We could actually add a title to our chat. I know this looks a little bit different, okay, from what we actually had on the dashboard, but because of the VJ, all right, we'll just keep that aside. So we're going to add a title to our chat. And for us to add a title to our chat, we're going to bring in a text box to add the title to our chat. Okay, so I'm just going to reduce this a bit so I can create space for the chat. I'll reduce this, and I'll reduce this. Okay, then I'm gonna go to text box over here. I'll click on text box and it appears here, and I'm gonna double click here, and I'm gonna put marketing reports. Marketing reports. Okay, so that is what we actually have here, marketing reports. And for the marketing report, definitely it cannot be this size. Okay, so we have to change one or two things. So I'll just do Control A, and let me check the dimensions I actually put initially. All right, so for the marketing reports, I put a dimension of the font size of 40. Yeah, that's big. Okay, so I can maybe make it 36 now. All right, and what else did I change it to? All right, so I changed the text to white. Okay, but I'm gonna leave this for now until I change what I'm supposed to change, okay? And another thing I also did was to centralize it. So I can take it to the center, okay, of the text box, even though I'll still take it to the center of the screen. And I'll make it bold, okay? Most times your title, the title of your report has to be what? Bold. Okay. And yeah, I think that's that basically. That's that basically. Okay, so I'm just gonna click outside here and I'll just um okay. I think this is actually what I did initially. Right, so very quickly, I'll just resize this and make sure that it fits what I want. Let me just get to the middle of the entire chart. Okay. All right, so I could just take this down a bit. Okay, okay, and take this up just a little bit. All right, so this is okay. This is okay. All right, so I'm just going to close this as well. Okay. Now, very quickly, you can see this is still looking off. Something is different. Something is missing. And what is actually missing is the fact that we have not changed the background color. All right. And let me get the background color that I actually did use. Okay. So for the background color, you select the background here. Okay. And then you go over to format your report page. Okay. Okay, then you go down to canvas background, okay, and you can change the color. So the color I used here, I will have to type it out. This is the color code I used for the canvas background. That is 3B 3E40. So I think this is going to look good. Okay. Uh, okay, that's not supposed to happen. Okay. Let me do that again. Let me just type out what I typed out before. 3B 3E40. Okay, so I think this is exactly, yeah, this is exactly what I was looking for. Right, so this is the shade. Yeah, this is the shade of background that we actually wanted. Okay, so we could also click here and I could go to effects and I could just off this. Yeah, so actually this is actually going to look better. I will highlight everything here and I will change it to white. Let me see how that looks. Okay, so this is looking a little bit okay. Yeah, this is looking okay. This is looking okay. All right, so this is looking okay. Yeah, so this is actually the reports that we have. And thank you very much. So if you want to publish, let's say you're done with your report, with your more complex reports, okay, and you want to make changes here and there, you want to share with your friend, you want to save in your system, etc. What do? You can go to file. You can go to, first of all, you need to save your reports, okay? So you could save as. You can go to documents where you want to save it and select it. And you can put the file name here. So you could call it marketing. marketing, and you click on save. Okay, so by so doing, you are saving this particular file as a Power BI file. You've saved your work and everything. So, and now aside that, that's for your local system. Let's say you want to save it to the cloud. You want to save it out there. You want people to be able to see your invention, what you've been able to do. I think I could take this to the right a bit. Okay. Okay, you want people to be able to see what you've been able to do, etc., etc. You go to file, you go to publish. You could also do it from where we're coming from. Click on publish. You click on publish to Power BI. Mind you, for you to be able to do this, you must have your Power BI account, all right? Your Power BI, you must be able to have access to your Power BI account and your Power BI service, right? So I'm going to click on save. And then very soon, yeah. And so they're asking you, where do you want to publish to? What's like, select a destination. So I can click on my workspace and click on select. So now it is publishing it to the Power BI service. All right. So once it's done doing that, you can open the marketing .pbix file in your Power BI. All right. So you can click that. All right. And let's go back still. And you can also click on got it. All right. So let's go back to what we just opened. So right now we're opening up the Power BI service. Okay. So when you come here, you should be able to see your report and you should be able to share your report from the Power BI service. So by so doing, you're actually deploying the report. So this is the deployment stage of the project. And once again, it's taking some time. Okay, you can see everything is beginning to load. Right, so now it's currently loading your reports, okay? Loading your reports. So this is what you do anytime you're done. And once you're done with web scraping and you are done creating your dashboard or your reports or whatever it is that you're trying to create, you can save your work and then publish it to the Power BI service. So it's still taking time to load. Okay, while it's still loading, another thing you could also do is you could come here and click here, all right? You'll be able to download this, okay, all of this, Power BI for mobile, Power BI for desktop, etc. All right, so you could also do that. And another thing you could also do is, how do you share? All right, so you could come to share, you click on share, and you'll be able to share this report with anybody out there. All right, you can also come to your exports. Let's say you want to export it. How do you want to export it? As a PDF file. Let's say your boss, your stakeholder, whoever it is you're working with wants to have a PDF file. You can come here and save it as a PDF file. You can save it as, or you can export it as a PowerPoint presentation. You can analyze it in Excel, all right, etc. So this is a very simple report from the scraped data. Thank you very, very much, everybody. I hope we're able to learn at least one or two things within the session, and I look forward to seeing your progress in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Akunda. So, Akunda has done an amazing job taking us through everything that we need to know when we're building and, of course, deploying a dashboard. And yeah, this is just a snippet. Okay, there's even a whole lot more. But because we're working with time, of course, I could not have to stop here. I know I enjoyed myself. I'm sure you enjoyed yourself as well. So as you can see from the chat box, so Ijoma enjoyed herself. Online card did so as well. Nandi as well. So everyone enjoyed themselves. I know that some of us we were not able to follow along because, of course, it makes sense. Saying that looking at the screen, looking at your work might be a little bit tricky, except for the minstrels out there that I've been able to figure out how to watch something and, of course, practice alongside at the same time. But if you are not able to do that, there's absolutely no problem, okay? All you need to do, ensure you fill the attendance form. Very, very important. So you get access to the recording, the slides, and everything. And so you can practice things yourself when later on when you have the time, okay? Because it's very, very important. So you can call yourself a data analyst, or at least a data analyst somewhat, because you already know how to use an aspect of Power BI. Thank you again, Akuna. Thank you very, very much. So Akuna is done with the serious part of things. Remember, at the start of the session, I mentioned that when it's time for fun, I'll come in. And it's time for us to have fun. And we're going to be having fun. We're going to play so many games because think about it. When was the last time you had fun? Abisoye, when was the last time you had fun? Adeyemi, when was the last time you had fun? Okay, Emmanuel, Femi, when was the last time you had fun? Okay, Olanka, when? Emmanuel said last weekend. Now, Emmanuel, are you sure you had fun last weekend? Because the fun I'm not talking about going to the park with your kids. Because when you take your kids to the park or when you take your kids out with you, that's no longer having fun. That's parenting. Okay, so because when your kids are there, it's not about, oh, please don't jump on that, oh, come here. So that's not fun. That's parenting. So when have you gone out your own self? Maybe you just went out to a restaurant or with your spouse. When was the last time you had that? When was the last time you played a game? So Adeyemi said last year. Last year is a long time ago because that's like 3 months now. And that's even assuming that you actually had fun at the last quarter of last year. And Nnamdi is saying, surely it's on Excel. She solved the problem. No, it was on Power BI. Okay, I think Nnamdi was asking a question from what we did earlier. It was on Power BI. So Emmanuel said, vote some SQL query. That's now Emmanuel's classification of fun. What writing queries, but the truth be told, the last time we had fun, probably, a while ago. So today's session is all about igniting that spark. Okay, because sometimes we are overwhelmed with everything that we have to do as adults. So you have to go to work, you have to take care of the kids, you have to do this, you have to do that, and we get so serious. Now is the time to unwind. Okay, and we're gonna do all of that. So if you know you're with me, if you know you're ready to go, if you know you're ready to have some fun and to discover, things about data analytics, of course, but most importantly, if you know you're ready to have some fun, I want you to send ice cream to the chat box. Ice cream. If you know you're still with me, you're ready to have some fun, you're ready to go, I want you to send ice cream to the chat box. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Thank you, Toby Talkby. So ice cream. Olayinka says ice cream. Latif says ice cream. Kennedy, ice cream. Adeyemi, ice cream. Paul, ice cream. Ungozi, what about you? Are you ready to go? Ijima says ice cream. Ungozi is ready to go as well. Ungozi will just went ahead to type in ice cream. Don't ask me why I went ahead to say ice cream. There's something about ice cream that's, probably figure it out later on. Okay. So Saturday is also ready to go. Oluchi is ready to go. Olamide is ready to go. Absolutely fantastic. So everyone is good to go. Fantastic. Ice cream. Ice cream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. But moving on. Moving on. Okay. Very first thing that we're going to take a look at. We're going to play a game. Okay. We are going to play a game. Just give me a moment. Yeah. So we're going to play a game. And the game we are going to be playing is called Emoji Charade. And we're going to use this game to drive a point when it comes to data. Okay? We'd use this game to drive a point when it comes to data. So the first game we'll play, okay? The first game we'll play emoji charade. I'm going to draw emojis because I would have to draw them. So pardon my drawing skills. I'm going to draw emojis and I want you to tell me what movie that emoji is taken from. Okay, so a bunch of emojis, what movie is it representing? And then we tie that back to data analytics because of course we are here for data. Are we ready to go? Are we ready to go? Okay, Tamitokwa is ready to go. Fantastic. Okay. Unamde is ready to go. I need more responses. Everyone needs to participate. Sunday, are you good to go? All right. Are you good to go Sunday? Basi, Choma, are you good to go? Emmanuel, Femi, Gertrude, iPhone, of course. John, are you good to go? I need responses. Okay, already. Great. So I'm going to go ahead and I will draw some emojis. I will draw, and again, pardon my drawing, but yeah, it's part of the game. And I want you to identify the movie that I'm referencing. Let's go. The very first one. So once you get the answer, you send the answer to the chat box. Once you get the answer, you send your answer to the chat box. So let's go. First one. So pardon my drawing, my drawing again, but we just make do. We make do. Okay, and I'll tell you what this is. This is a crown. Okay, so just stay with me. Pardon my drawing. I know this is probably an abomination to some of us. Taking a look at what is this? What's this drawing? Okay, pardon me. And then this is a lion. Okay, so what movie is this? Where is this from? Okay, Lion King, Lion King, Lion King. Exactly. We got that correctly. Lion King. And from the Lion King, something that we know is that so there was Simba, right? So Simba had to run away from home and Simba had to go back home. And something about the Lion King, something that Simba did was that Simba had to take a look at past data. Okay, Simba had to take a look at past data. Now, what do I mean by that? Stay with me. Okay, so Simba had to take a look at the past to analyze the happenings of the past to make decisions, crucial decisions for the future. After Simba took a look at the past, he decided that, oh, yeah, this is where I'm coming from. This is the data of the past. I'm actually supposed to be a king of the jungle. And then he used that data to decide the right approach to take for the future. Data is important. That is the first one. Let's move on. Something else. Another one. Another one. This time, we're going to have this. Okay, stay with me. And then we have okay. And then we have this. And then we have okay, I think I'm going to wipe this and just go and draw that again. So okay. So can we identify this before I go ahead? I know the drawing, the diagrams are terrible, absolutely terrible. Terrible is probably an understatement. Okay, terrible is probably an understatement. But before I go ahead and write in the name, I want you to tell me what movie do you think this is referring to? What movie do you think this is referencing? What movie do you think this is referencing? I know I've not written the name, but I wanted to try to take a guess. What Latif said Wakanda. Am I that terrible when it comes to art? I think I should stick with tech. And yeah, I am thinking, okay, you know what? I have this flair for art. And I was thinking of opening up a gallery and becoming an artist, leaving tech. But right now it seems I should not even think of that. Okay, for Latif to say that I'm referring to Wakanda. Tomitope says out of box. Joy says broken hearted cube. Is there a movie called Broken Hearted Cube? Unante says living in bondage. Holy moly. Okay, I'm gonna add names. I'm gonna add names to the diagrams now. I will add names to the diagrams. So for names, this is a broken heart. Okay, this is a broken heart. And then this is ice cubes. With this two, I wonder if you guys will be able to identify it. So what do you think? Without identifying the one in the middle, we have a broken heart and we have ice cubes. Fantastic. Francis got it. Exactly. It's the Titanic. The Titanic. This is supposed to be a ship. Okay, it's the Titanic. Exactly, Francis. Let's give Francis a round of applause. Let's give Francis a round of applause. It's not easy, all right? Even with this abominations of images, Francis was able to. So I guess I'm not so bad after all. Maybe I should actually go into art, okay? But yeah, and the Titanic. Data, right? Data is very, very important. There's a reason why I'm going through all of this. There's a reason why I went ahead to draw the first diagram, and now we are taking a look at this. The first Lion King, now Titanic. The first talking about the fact that Simba had to analyze the past, talking about what past data to know what to do in the future. Talking about making what decisions, data-driven decisions. Using Titanic now, we also have a similar scenario, but in this case, the Titanic failed to use data because if the Titanic, right, had better risk analysis of analyzing data to take a look at what the areas that had ice cubes, or the areas where we're having glaciers and things like that, probably things would not have ended the way they would have ended. Because when you take a look at the world that the weather data, this is the situation at this point, this is the situation at that point. And with that, you are able to make data-driven decisions on the best course of action or the best path that should have been taken. While these examples might be a bit vague for us to understand, why data is very, very important. One thing that we can take from this is that data is very, very important. Gone are the days where organizations made decisions. Oh, this is what I feel like we should do. This is what I think we should do. Now, organizations are all about what does the data say. Over 90% of currently available data was generated in the last 5 years. Over 90% of currently available data was generated in just 5 years, the past 5 years. That's to tell you the rate at which data has been generated, number one. And number two, that's to tell you the importance of data. And that's one of the reasons why data is the new oil, as they say, and why careers in data would remain ever relevant. And I'm going to show you some things to back this up. This is not just me going out there spitting fables and telling you things that are really not the case. It's actually true. If you go on read.co.uk right now, or if you go on Inbuilt, or you go on Wellfound, Glassdoor, UK recent jobs, all of those job sites, and if you search for data analyst roles, you will find lots and lots of roles. Most times in a single day, you would see that not less than 100 roles are being uploaded on that job site per day. Why? Because organizations do not want to make the same mistakes that predecessors made. Just like the Titanic sank in the 80s. Now you have organizations, now you have the entire coast, I've forgotten what's called, that's those that control ships and all of that. You have them taking a look at the weather data, you have them analyzing the data of the sea, taking a look at various kinds of data to determine if that particular ship should go on a cruise or not. Data plays a role in every organization, and not in a small way. Talking about how data, the importance of data, one very, very equally important career path that works with data is the data analyst. But we have to understand, who is a data analyst? Because a snippet of what data analysts do has been seen. That is what we saw earlier. That was what Akuna worked on. How you can go ahead to build, not just build, to deploy, and not just deploy, also automate a web scraping project. How you could go ahead to scrape data from the web and make that data make sense. Because let's say you have a new business, or you are looking to launch a new business. Let's say you have a company, or you're looking to launch a company. Something that is very, very important, something that you will have to do, is termed market analysis. And market analysis is all about taking a look at market data to determine what you should do to place your organization to place your organization at the front. All of that is data. With scraping, if you're launching a new e-commerce business, with scraping Jumia, scraping VJ, you'll be able to tell the average prices of products in the market for you to know the best position to the best position and the best pricing to give to your products. So you get maximum returns, and so you get good customers. Data has never been more important. So who is a data analyst? It's easy, simple, and straight to the point. A data analyst is a professional that helps organizations process, analyze data to help organizations make what informed decisions. A data analyst speaks the language of data. A data analyst is, I love to say that data analysts are bilingual. And when I say bilingual, of course, someone that can speak more than one language. The data analyst can speak, just a moment. Yeah, so the data analyst can speak their language, okay, and can also speak the language of data. And the language of data can be summarized as TLOD, TLOD. I came up with this. So if you go on YouTube right now, or let's say you go on Google, or you go ask any AI, maybe you go ask Oluko, that's Analytics AI. You go ask any of this AI, and you say, "Oh, what's TLOD?" You will be told, "I have no idea." You'll be given something else entirely, because I just came up with this. TLOD stands for the language of data. But not to worry. Very soon, I'm gonna make this a thing. I'm gonna make it a trend, and it will be here to stay. Okay, so the data analyst understands the language of data, because data does not make sense in its raw form. You have a bunch of facts, you have a bunch of numbers. Just like after the data was scraped from the website, we just had tables that contains numbers, that contains words, letters, but it did not really make sense. Because if you were asked, okay, you know what? Tell me, what is the price of this product? Or what is the average price of this product? Or what is the product name of that product? You probably not be able to tell, because it's all a bunch of information that doesn't make sense, at least to you, the stakeholder who is not a data analyst. And so the data analyst comes in, understanding this language, speaks with the data, tells the data, "Hello, data, what's up? I would like you to tell me what's going on. The past 2 months, what's our profit been like?" Speaking with the data, yarning with the data. The data in this case is the paddy, or the paddy, as they say, of the data analyst. It's a friend. So the data analyst speaks with the friend, which is the data, because he understands or she understands the language of data. And the data is like, oh yes, you know what? Last year, this is what we did. Last month we did this. This is the amount. We made this amount of profit. We made this amount of profit. This was the amount of sales we made. Tell all of this to the data analyst using the language TLOD. And then the data analyst, then after getting all of this information, passes the information over to the stakeholders by using English, French, or whatever other language. Everything I've just said is can be summarized into saying that the data analyst helps to what? Analyze the company's data to help them make informed decisions. A data analyst focuses on two kinds of analytics: the descriptive analytics and the diagnostic analytics. The descriptive analytics is talking about what happened. So descriptive analytics, descriptive analytics. That is what happened. That's the first kind of analytics that a data analyst focuses on. And what do I mean by descriptive analytics? Descriptive analytics is you being able to answer the question, what happened? So the business wants to know, let's say the CEO wants to know, the founder, the COO, the team lead, someone in charge, they want to know, what was our sales like last year or last month? What did we do last month? How many products did we sell? How many customers did we have? Was there a new product that we launched? Which product performed the best? What was that? Did we offer discounts? Did the customers accept the discount? Which outlet performed well the most? What method is used by customers the most when ordering for items? Do they like to walk in the stores, or do they like to place calls? Do they like to go to the shops, or do they like to stand at the stop? What method do customers love to use? That is what talking about what happened. Answering questions based on historical data. Guys, listen. Did you guys get my rhyme? I think I rhymed the beat not so long ago. What do you think? Do you think I have a career in music? Do you think I have a career in music? Because I was on fire just like two minutes ago or a few seconds ago. I was spitting some bars. Okay. Do you think I have a career in music? I've been thinking of living tech for a while. So Ijoma says yes. Ijoma is of the opinion that I have a career in music. Thank you very much, Ijoma. So when I have my concert, I believe that you guys will attend. Choma says no. Ouch. Sunday says no as well. Wow. I thought we were all about encouraging each and everyone, each other. I thought that's what we were all about. I need more responses. Do you guys think I should go into music or not? Everyone is saying no. Really? Am I that bad? Anyways, I will take your feedback into advisement. All right. But just in case you hear that there's a new artist in town, Aisha, please ensure you play my songs on, stream my songs on Spotify, on YouTube, and on iMusic, or iTunes, all of that. Okay. Ensure you stream my songs. Okay. Please support Homeboy. Okay. Anyways, so that is what the data analysts do. The first thing is what happened? Descriptive analytics. So, okay, so this is what happened. The second kind of analytics is that the data analyst focuses on. It's called the diagnostic analytics. Diagnostic. Okay? Diagnostic analytics. And this is talking about why it happened. Why it happened. So diagnostic analytics is talking about why it happened. All right. Last month we made, let's say last month we made about £50,000 in profit. That's our profit as a business. Last month, we made £50,000 in profit. Oh, wow. We had thought we were going to make £10,000 in profit, or we thought we were going to make $10,000 in profit, and we ended up making £50,000 or $50,000 in profits. Fantastic. Why did it happen? As a business, you would want to identify the things that you are doing right, so you get to continue those things, so you keep making even more money. So you would want to know, why did it happen? And so the data analyst will go back to the data after discovering what happened, would not focus on diagnosing why it happened. Diagnosis in the hospital talks about what? Talks about um, um, the reason for symptoms. So maybe you're having certain symptoms, you have a headache, or maybe you have a back pain, and you go to the hospital, then you are diagnosed. Oh, the reason why you've been having why you've been having back pain, or why you've been feeling feverish is because you have the flu, or maybe it's because you're tired, or you just need this rest. Diagnosis, discovering this is the reason why certain things are happening. So that is the data analyst discovering this is the reason why we made £50,000 in profit. Oh, maybe what happened was that there was this new product we launched that customers absolutely loved. That each and every day we had people coming into the shop. Every day we were selling out on this particular product. Or maybe there was this particular influencer that visited the shop and posted posted the company on their page or on their account, and now we have 1,000 customers. So that we get to continue doing those things, so we keep on making even more money. That is why it happened. Those are the two areas that the data analyst focuses on: descriptive analytics and diagnostic analytics. Everything I've been talking about so far can be summarized into four different things. That's number one being that a data analyst identify business trends. That's identifying patterns and trends. What we did. Okay, so last week we made 5,000. This week we made 1,000. Yesterday we made 1 million. Things like that. Trends. Generating reports, building dashboards. Because don't forget, the stakeholders do not speak the language of data. You alone speak the language of data, which is tailored. Now, how do you convert that language of data? How do you convert that language into something that is understandable by the stakeholders? That is you now building reports, building dashboards, working with tools such as your Excel, your Power BI in building that report. And that is what you then present to the stakeholders for them to know that this is what the data was trying to tell us. So this is what the data says. So building reports, and we had an example of building a report in the session today. So that's another thing that a data analyst does. And then of course we have providing insights for data-driven decisions. This is what the data is saying. Okay, the data showed us that when we use influencers, we tend to get more sales. That means we should what? Double down on influencers. The data analyst uses data to make data-driven decisions. That is who a data analyst is. That is what a data analyst does. And this is an example of data. Taking a look at this, it makes no sense. If I ask you a question, can you tell me the gender that buys from us the most in terms of sales? Or can you tell me the most popular product category? Can you tell me the number of items that we've sold? You would not be able to tell, because all of this is just a bunch of numbers, and there are lots and lots and lots of rows, and you would not be able to make sense of that. This is tailored, the language of data. So the data analyst would then convert this data into a report that makes sense. Because with the reports, you can now tell, okay, so this is the amount of sales that we are making. This is the number of late deliveries. Easy, straight to the point. And not this. This does not make sense, but this makes sense. The data analyst converts this into something that makes sense. Data analytics is a very, very high in demand skill. It's a career path that is very high in demand, and for several reasons. Number one being that companies, and that we have so much data now, and that companies are now so heavily dependent on data because you have to use data in making decisions. And from this finding, even the World Economic Forum agrees as well, because the World Economic Forum releases a report every 2 years called The Future of Jobs. And what this report does is that it shows us those jobs that will increase in terms of what? In terms of um, opportunities, and it shows us those that will decrease in terms of opportunities. So what this is showing us right now, by the left, okay, by the left, you'd see, that's by the left, you'd see all of these jobs. You'd see the roles like the big data specialist, the fintech engineer, the AI and machine learning specialist. What we are concerned about now is the data analyst and scientist. And we can see that jobs in the data analyst and scientist and the data analyst and scientist role will not be lost, but there are so many roles that will be added, so many opportunities. There are even reports out there. There was a session we had where we took a look at the relevance of data analytics in 2025. If data analytics is a dead-end career, a career that closes doors instead of opening them up. We had that session, I think, sometime this month. So if you want to go to that session, please ensure you go on our YouTube and just check for it, or you can reach out to any of the admins and ask for the recording of that session. And in that session, we explored different publications, different researches that have been carried out by other people, telling us where data analytics was heading. And most of the researchers, most of the reports showed us that there was going to be an increase in the amount of jobs available for data analysts, not notwithstanding the fact that we are having an increase in AI. It's from the reports and the researches, we saw that even as we're having an increase in AI, we are also having an increase in data analyst opportunities, in data analyst roles. And this cannot really be said for most other career paths. Deciding to get into data analytics to be precise, it's a decision that you know is right. Even before you take you make the decision, even before you get the results, you already know from the onset that you are making the right choice. But what do you need to be a data analyst? What do you need to know? Is web scraping the only thing necessary? Not really. There are certain things you need to know. The first being problem solving. You need to be able to solve problems. Now, stay with me here. I'm not talking about the kind of problems you solve on a day-to-day. So let's say maybe you can't find your keys and you notice your keys fell in the drainage or something, and then you get a hook and you pull out the keys and you say you're a good problem solver. No, that's not the kind of problem solving I'm talking about. And I'm not also talking about the kind of problem solving you claim you can do during interviews. Because I think I've mentioned this several times, but I'm going to mention it again for those of us that probably we've not heard this before. There was a time where, sometime last year, I was listening to a podcast, and the podcast had some recruiters on there, right? Recruiters talking about just some stats and figures, and someone asked a question that what questions do you know you would automatically get a yes to, or can you predict the answer you will get before you even ask the interviewee? And the recruiter said that there are two questions that they would always get a yes to. They know that they can get that immediately. They're going to get a yes to that question. The first is problem solving. Oh, are you a problem solver? Can you solve problems? And they're like, oh, yes, I'm a problem solver. I'm a fantastic problem solver. In my last organization, I was the one that solved 5 problems. I solved 5 problems in 2 minutes. There was problem everywhere there was a problem. We were just the other departments were just generating problems, and they brought all of the problems to me, and I was the only person in the team. And in 2 seconds, in 2 minutes, I solved the entire company's problems. That's number one question. And the second question people always say yes to is, can you work under pressure? Can you work under pressure? Oh, pressure. I am the one that invented pressure. You see, my middle name is actually Pressure. Okay. So that's not the kind of problem solving I'm talking about. That's not the kind of problem solving I'm talking about. Not the problem solving that you do, not the problem solving that you claim you can do. No, problem solving, actual problem solving skills that you understanding the different problem methodologies from the Pareto principle to the decision tree to the prioritization matrix to the Cribs-DM framework, the fishbone diagram, the 5 whys, all of those things. These are what it takes for you to be a problem solver as a data analyst. So you need to know all of those skills because you can say you are a data analyst if you can't solve problems. If you can't solve problems, you are not a data analyst. A data analyst, a data analyst that cannot solve problems, a data analyst that cannot solve problems is not a data analyst, but rather is a dashboard builder. So a data analyst minus problem solving is a dashboard builder. Okay, a dashboard builder. So a data analyst that cannot solve problems. If you're a data analyst and you don't have problem solving, you are not a data analyst. You're a dashboard builder. So you need to be able to solve problems. And that's the reason why the first thing you learn is problem solving. And then you move over to Excel. Excel is a whole lot more than just a spreadsheet tool, because that's what many people think it's all about. It's an analytical tool that can be used in carrying out data analysis and data analytics. So you learn Excel, and then you have your SQL, which is a language that is used in what? Interacting with databases. So you get to learn how to work with SQL. Then you have your Power BI, which is your Power Business Intelligence. We just learned a little bit of Power BI today. You also learned Tableau. Tableau is also a business intelligence tool. So you learned Power BI and you learned Tableau. So it doesn't matter if the organization says, I need someone that can work with Power BI. There's no problem. You are good to go. Or if the organization says, oh, I need someone that can work with Tableau, there's absolutely no problem. You are good to go as well. So you have those two skills under your belt. And of course, data storytelling, the ability to tell stories using data. I'm talking about you being able to present your findings in a way that is understandable to the stakeholders. Of course, don't forget about ChatGPT for analytics, because we are in the world of AI, and AI is not replacing data analysts, but rather data analysts that can use AI will replace those that cannot. So you need to know how to work with AI to improve your efficiency and your effectiveness as a data analyst, so that a task that would originally have taken you, let's say, 5 hours to complete, you complete that task under 2 minutes, under 5 minutes. Then you have Microsoft Fabrics for analytics. The way you get to learn, you have we use an hybrid approach. So we use a hybrid approach in learning. And what do I mean by a hybrid approach? Where you learn via the Analytics LMS, and you also learn via the classes. So you have a live classes where, just what we're having right now, an example, just like what we're having right now, where you're in a class with a facilitator, you're asking questions, you're working on case studies, you're getting experience. And then we have the Watch Me Do It videos, which would introduce you to concepts that you'll be learning in class. So it's a dual learning approach. So it doesn't matter if you're a slow learner, you have something for you. If you're the kind of person that would prefer going through videos over and over and over again, absolutely no problem. You're good to go. Or if you decide that, okay, I'm the kind of person that would prefer attending classes, okay, you love classes, no problem. So you have the classes as well. So that is the approach we take. So we combine both of them in the program. And if the class times, that's the session times on Saturdays. On Saturdays is where you have your live classes, with the morning class being 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, which is 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. UTC. That's the UK time. And that's for those in Europe, in Africa. And then for those in North America, that's you're in the US, you're in Canada, the class time is 10 a.m. So you have classes from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. MST. That's Managing Standard Time, which is actually 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. And of course, there are two plans. So there are two plans that you can take, two methods that you can use. You can either decide to go with, the 8 months plan, where you get to learn for 6 months. So you have 6 months of learning. You get to learn for 6 months, and then you have 2 months internship. 6 months of learning and 2 months of internship. And then you have the second plan, which is for 12 months, where you get to learn for 6 months, and then you have another 6 months internship. Okay, so how would you know? Should I go for the 8 months plan or should I go for the 12 months plan? It all depends on what you are looking for. So the 8 months plan gives you all of the skills you need, and you also get to work on more projects, get that experience in the internship. But if you're looking to get even more experience, you want to have lots of experience under your belt when you are in that interview, because we know at the end of the day that you need experience to get a job. Okay, but don't worry, we take you through all of that. Okay, so we'll take you through all of that. How you can get the experience, especially if you're coming from a different field entirely. No problem. We've been doing that for a long time. I've been up to close to 2,000 people, land jobs in tech, transitioning from the classroom. So we are experts in that, and we'll help you out with all of that. So if you want to get more experience, you can go for the 12 months program, where you get an additional 6 months internship after your initial 6 months of learning. And the internship. So how does it go? Okay, the learning you are going to be learning with Tenalytics. The 6 months of learning is with Tenalytics, and then your internship, you'll be interning with Amdari. So Amdari is an organization in Canada, a fantastic organization. So you get to learn with Tenalytics, and then you intern with Tenalytics. Then you intern with Amdari. And what this will do for you is that you have the opportunity of placing Tenalytics and Amdari on your CV. Talking about as a place where you've gotten experience. It doesn't get better than that. Okay, and yeah, and there are so many people that we've been able to help. Like I said, we've been able to help over 2,950 people. That's over 2,000 plus individuals transition, getting into tech, landing their first role in tech. And we are here to help you as well. I said something at the start of the session. And what was that? I said, Tenalytics is Santa Claus. We make dreams come true. What's your dream? You want to get that job in tech? You want to transition into data analytics? You want to start earning in 6 figures? Is that your dream? You no longer want to do survivor jobs. You've been doing survivor jobs for a while, and you're looking to migrate from that. You want to get, excuse me, you want to get into a path where you can see career growth, where you enjoy what you do. Would make your dream come true. Literally. And you don't have to take my word for it. All you have to do is listen to the plethora of people that we've helped transition into tech. And I'm talking about Lois. Okay, I'm talking about Lois, I'm talking about Tony, I'm talking about Benga, I'm talking about Tosin, I'm talking about Olua Damlari. Once you get access to these slides, all you need to do, just fill that feedback form so you get access to this slide so you can listen to all of those people speak. How we were able to help them transition, how Tony landed a job, a full visa sponsorship with the NHS, working as a data analyst. So she was working as a data analyst with the NHS. She got a job as a data analyst. The job title was actually benefit analyst, but it was a data analyst role that she got with the NHS after completing that training with us. To Benga that got 2 different job offers. Two. Number 1, 2 in Poland. And many people talk about Poland being a place where it's very difficult for you to succeed in Poland. The job market is very harsh, things like that. And we have participants getting 2 job offers in Poland just after completing the program with analytics. To Tosin that we helped to land a job as a fraud analyst with a company in the UK after completing a data analytics program, to Oluwadamilare that got a job as a sustainability data analyst with a company in the UK, to Lois as well that we helped get a job, to Ngozi, to Bukola as well. Bukola also landed a job as a people's data scientist in Poland as well. We know what works. We understand the market. And so all you need to do is listen, and we guide you through everything, how you can succeed. To Joel, to Vivian, to Ikmat, to Abigail. Abigail that transitioned from a care worker. So we helped Abigail get a job with the government of Canada. All right. So she joined that program. When she joined that program, she told us that, okay, this is my background. This is what I'm currently doing. At the moment, I don't have any background in tech. Okay, so I'm a care worker and I'm looking to transition. Okay, I want to move into a new career path. And after she spoke to us, she had a one-on-one conversation with us, right? And we told her what she needed to do. We asked about her skills, her interest, and then we recommended the business analysis program for Abigail. And I'm really, really proud to say that Abigail has been able to transition, working as a business analyst with the government of Alberta in Canada. Things like this give me joy. That was the reason why we started everything that we do at Analytics, making dreams come true, like I said. And Abigail was very, very happy, listening to her, the joy in her voice when she was giving the testimonial to Ramat, to Abdirashid, to Muhyiddin, so many people that we've been able to help, to Joel, that we helped transition, getting the job as a data engineer. And we've had sessions that where we brought in these people, where they spoke about how we helped them transition. We even had a session, I think, about a week or 2 weeks ago, and we are going to have another session next week. So please ensure you stay tuned and you join the sessions, listen to those people tell you their stories, because many of us at the moment, we are currently in the position where they were in presently. It's possible for you to make that switch as well. Okay, and of course, we are accredited by the American Council of Training and Development, and this is just a testament to the quality of the training that we offer at Analytics, just a proof of work, as I would say. And so you know that when you get a certificate from us, your certificate is going to carry the ACTD logo. Fantastic. But what do you need to get a job? I've been talking about jobs. Isn't that easy to get a job? Because you might have a friend. Maybe you have a friend that learned how to work with Excel, Power BI, SQL 5 years ago, and you're like, oh, Aisha, sir, I hear you. I hear everything you're saying. I've been listening in. And I have a friend that learned how to work with Excel, Power BI, SQL 5 years ago. He told me he was looking to transition to become a data analyst. Until now, he doesn't have a job in tech. So why will I succeed? Why will I go ahead to try to learn data analytics and get a job? It's simple. It's because we understand the equation. For you to get a job, it's not just you having the technical skills. No, you need to complete the job equation, which is the T plus E. That is what will get you the job. The T is representing the technical skills. The T is representing the technical skills. And then the E is representing the employability skills. Your technical skills is you understanding how to work with the tools. That's a given. You're going to learn all of that. But the employability skills is what would now push you to the market. It's what will position you rightly for you to get a job. And that's why, in addition to everything you'll be getting, additional things you'll be getting, for number one, your CV review and revamp. Your CV will be reviewed and revamped, because the CV is the gateway to you landing a job. That's the very, very first thing that you're gonna do, that you're going to need to craft when you're applying to jobs, right? So we'd show you how you can have a good CV. Would help you work on your CV, ensure that your CV is ATS worthy, and show you how you can update your CV. Because, of course, for every job you're applying to, you need to ensure that you tailor your CV specific to that job description, so it passes through the ATS, which is the applicant tracking system. The thing about CVs is that people don't really realize that the CV is just information about you. You have not spoken. It's not maybe you were not fluent enough, or maybe the recruiter did not like the way you sounded, or maybe there was something about you the recruiter did not like. That's the reason why they didn't give you an interview. No, it's all a piece of paper, digital paper now to be exact. But that means there are certain things that needs to be on your CV. Things that I love to call the green flags. Everyone talks about red flags, but do people really talk about the green flags? Meaning there are green flags that should be on your CV that would ensure the recruiter at least goes ahead to schedule you for an interview. It takes just 2 to 6 seconds for a recruiter to take a look to go through your CV. Meaning that they're not going just reading the entire thing like they're reading a textbook. No, there are certain things they are looking out for that will determine if you will be called for the interview or not. The interview is where, okay, the main screening process is now going to take place. We are so good at what we do that a couple of weeks ago, we had a session. I don't know if you were part of that session. Like I mentioned, we had a session where we brought in alumni, some alumni that have gotten jobs. And we brought in Gad. Gad got a job as a data engineer with the NHS, a full sponsorship role with the NHS as a data engineer. He was so happy because he just concluded his master's. And so he was already looking to, because he had to get a new visa, he was very worried how he was going to go through all of that. But he got a job as a data engineer with the NHS, fully sponsored job. And when he was talking about his job, he was smiling because he loves what he does on a day-to-day. Now, God mentioned something. He said that when he was applying to jobs, after we helped him out with the CV, we had the section with him, all of that, that if he applies to 6 jobs with a CV, that he was sure of getting 3 job interviews. How many of you on the call can boast of that? That you apply to 6 jobs and you get 3 interviews. Most of us, we apply to 200 jobs and we don't even get 1 interview. That's because we know what works. And that's why CV review is very, very important. And the next, we have the LinkedIn optimization. LinkedIn is what I like to call the Facebook of professionals, because you have recruiters on LinkedIn, you have people on LinkedIn that make things happen. LinkedIn is now so important that you are advised to include your LinkedIn profile when you're applying to jobs. Your LinkedIn profile should be included on your CV. And you have recruiters that go on LinkedIn to headhunt. I know I do that as well. I go on LinkedIn and I headhunt when I'm looking for people to work with me on certain projects on a contract basis. So your LinkedIn needs to be top notch, and you're shown how you can go through all of that. We have navigated the job market. You are new to a place. You just moved to a new country and you don't understand how the job market is or what you need to do, when to apply to jobs, where to apply to jobs, if to even apply to jobs. Maybe there's someone you meet and just ask for a job and you get the job immediately. We don't know. So the navigating the job market would bring in recruiters. These are people that are looking at your CV. We'll bring them into the session and they will tell you point blank, this is what I look out for when I'm trying to employ people. So you know what to do when you're applying to jobs. It doesn't get better than that. So we bring recruiters from the UK, we bring recruiters from Canada, we bring recruiters from the US, from every location that will talk to you in your specific client. And of course, we also have the interview preparation. Because we are not just interested in you getting an interview. No, that's not where we stop. We want you to get that job. That's why when you've gotten an interview, you can go ahead to schedule an interview prep session with a professional, a one-on-one session, and you'll be taking through everything you need to know how you can scale through that interview, from how you can answer questions about yourself, to talking about your experience, to answering technical interview questions, to working on different case studies that you might be given during the interview, to ensure that you scale through the entire thing and you eventually get the job. You've gotten the job now. You need a reference. Because many recruiters nowadays, they want to know if you are really who you say you are. So they request reference letters. As long as you're a participant or an alumnus with analytics, you are sure of getting a reference from us when the need arises. And the great thing is, you can either get a reference from Analytics or you can get a reference from Amdari. It doesn't get better than that. On the job support, you've gotten the job, you've been given a task. That's not so clear. You can reach out to us even when you're doing the program and ask for guidance. We guide you on what to do, so you go back to work, so you do amazingly well. And then we have the weekly mentorship session, where week in, week out, you are mentored. Because mentorship is very, very important. You need to speak to people that have succeeded where you're looking to succeed. You need to speak to industry leaders in that space that will guide you on what you need to do to help you land that job. That's why every week you are mentored. Mentorship is one very, very big thing. Every day I get messages on social media, people sending me messages asking me, oh, please, I would like to be mentored by you. You know, I love what you do. Can you please mentor me? I would love to be your mentee. And I understand. Mentorship is very, very important because with mentorship, it fast track your route to success. So if it was supposed to take you 2 months before you get a job, with mentorship, it could take you just 2 weeks because someone already knows what you need to do, and they tell you what you need to do. You land the job, or at least you get an interview, and then of course, you are prepared for the interview and you land that job. And lastly, Upwork optimization. So you want to succeed on Upwork. You want to freelance. Upwork is a great platform for you. The Upwork optimization session would show you how you can succeed as a freelancer, how you can navigate through the Upwork platform to writing proposals, writing great proposals that will attract recruiters, proposals that will be opened by clients, and that the clients will go ahead to schedule an interview with you, so you eventually get that gig. You'll be shown how to maximize the connect, how you can spend connect, when to bid or not, when not to bid for certain jobs. All of this in addition to the technical skills you'll be getting will get like help you land that job. I talked about the analytics LMS earlier, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. Okay, so the Analytics LMS, this is what it looks like. So as soon as you register for the program, you would be given access to the LMS. Okay, you'll be given access to the Analytics LMS. And what does the LMS offer? So of course, there are so many features, so many features. One of them is Oluko. All right, so you have Oluko. This is my history, my chart history with Oluko. All right, so I was just give me a moment. Okay, so this is my chart history with Oluka. I think I'm just gonna start that again. Start a new chart. So I think I might need to refresh my page so this is a lot clearer. All right, but this is Analytics AI. So you know every organization and everything has AI right now. So we have our very own AI model, and that is Olucon. So Olucon is there to assist you any way possible. When you are having code issues, you're having debugging issues, you can go ahead to ask Olucon, or you need guidance when it comes to career related questions, or you need an interview prep. Olucon is there for you. So this Olucon asking for my name, so I can go ahead and insert my name, and then Olucon says, okay, my name is Days. What's your issue? Do you have career related questions, or you need course content explanation because Olucon is integrated with our curriculum? Or do you want to be prepared for an interview, or do you have code-based issues, Excel formula issues, Power BI formula issues, SQL issues, Python issues? Excuse me. Okay, Python issues, all of those things. So you can interact with Olucon, because as you're watching your videos, a question can come up and you can easily just ask Olucon. That's if you want the AI touch. But if you would prefer speaking with an actual individual, there's no problem, because you have the community, you can speak with the data associate, the facilitators, the senior data associates, and ask them any question you have, and that's an answer will be provided. So there are so many features Over here, you can see you can go ahead to schedule an appointment. That's for an interview prep when you have an interview prep. And then you have comes request for a reference letter, of course. And then over here, you have your badges where for every assessment you complete, you get to earn a badge. The badge you can also share on social media because we advise building in public. You want to show people what you can do so that they end up knowing that, so that they know that this is what you can do and they end up pushing opportunities your way. But looking at the program, so let's say you are registered for the data analytics program. So over here, you can see data analytics. So I'll click on continue learning, and then there are a bunch of videos. So at the start, I can see the problem solving videos. I can see all of the problem solving videos. I can select any of the videos, and then I go into Excel. So there are various weeks, Excel, Power BI, dashboarding and data storytelling, all of that. So let's say I go into Excel. All right. I have my Excel videos, and let's say I'm currently on pay special. So all I need to do, I click on that, and then I can watch the video. So I'm not just watching, I'm watching and practicing alongside, because over here I can download the material, in this case, the data set. Okay, just give me a moment. Let me see if I can share sound. Should be able to share sound. Okay, so this is Ephemera.
All
Okay,
right, welcome back. This time
yeah.
around, we are
So
going to
this
be
is
looking at
Ephemera.
paste special. So we've completed Excel
Yeah, so this Ephemera, the co-founder of Analytics, taking you to Excel, a fantastic professional, and
interface. All
I'm
you
sure
need to do now is click on
you can
paste special.
listen in.
Okay. So, we learned out is red,
So
which is this
yeah,
cell, which is red. And once I press enter, two times
so that's just a snippet. That is Ephemera taking you through Paste Special on Excel. All right. And you are not just watching. You are not just watching. You are practicing alongside the facilitator. And in addition to this, don't forget, you also have the live classes. You also have the live classes. So in addition to the videos, you'd also have the live classes where you get to work on even more concepts, working on even more examples on based on what you've learned in the Watch Me Do It
times
videos. That's
two
on the
is four
LMS, right? So learning is fantastic, learning is great, and you have all of those videos. And this is the same situation for elder programs. You can track your progress, the videos you've watched. You have a job tracker in here. There are so many features, so many features. Absolutely amazing. So that's just an example of what the Analytics LMS has to offer. Okay, and I just want to show you that. Okay, but moving on. Our next cohort. When does our next cohort start? Our next cohort starts on the 8th of March. And what do you need to do to be a part of that? It's simple, straight to the point. What you need to do is register. That's all you need to do. You register. And how do you register? There are two plans. We have the 8 months plan and we have the 12 months plan. The 8 months plan is $900. So if you're looking to register, the full amount is $900. But fortunately, at the moment, we are running a discount. We are running a discount for the first 20 persons to register. And if you're a part of the first 20 persons to register, you get to pay 20% less. And you can break this down into multiple installments. So maybe you don't have the fee upfront. So you can break this down into multiple installments to as little as $150 per month, and you get to spread this across 5 months. Or if you're looking to register for the 12-month program, the full amount is $1,200. But if you are able to register on time and you qualify and you get into the discount slot, you get to pay $1,000 instead. And you can break that down into $125 spread across 8 months if you're looking to pay in installments. So my colleague has sent in the payments link to the chat box, and once you click on that link, it will bring you over to the Analytics Enrollment Center. to bring you to the Analytics Enrollment Center. There are two ways you can make payments. You can either make payments via the website, or you can make payments via the Enrollment Center. And over here, you'd see you have chat with Analytics. So let's say you're making payments and you encounter an issue. So you can easily just come over here, click on this, and speak with one of us, and your issues will be resolved. You can get access to all our program brochures over here. So maybe you're interested in some other programs. You can click on this to read up on what we have to offer on the other programs and what you'll be getting, how you'll be learning, all of that. So right now you can see the discount is still running. So as you can see from this flyer, the discount is still running. And when you're looking to register, all you need to do, just scroll down, and over here you'd see you have all of the different programs. So let's say you want to register for data analytics. You have the 8-month plan and you have the 12-month plan. So selecting the 8-month plan will bring you, okay, so selecting the 8-month plan and will bring you over to the main stack. Just wait for this to load up. All right, so excuse me, it brings you here, and then you see you have the different tranches. So you can select any tranche you want. If you decide that, okay, you know what, I want to make a one-time payment. Let's say you qualify for the discount. So you can see we still have 14 seats available. So you want to try to rush on that quickly, because of course we are having over more people going ahead to make payments because the cohort is going to start soon. So you want to quickly jump on that so you're a part of the discount, because we have 14 discounted slots left. So as soon as we are done with the discount, the prices would return to normal. So let's say you qualify for the discount and you're looking to make payments. Okay, so you want to make payments, and you decide, you know what, I want to make a one-time payment. I don't want to break this down into multiple installments. If you do decide to do that, you get an extra $50 off. So the full amount is $900. $900 is the full amount. But if you qualify for the discount, you get to pay, all right, if you qualify for the discount, if qualified for the discount, you get to pay what? You get to pay 20% less. So you'll be paying $750. But let's say you want to make a one-time payment. If you decide to make a one-time payment, you get to have an extra minus $50 taken off. All right, you get an extra $50 taken off, so you end up paying $700 instead if you decide to make a one-time payment, or you decide to break this down into 2 installments. You get an extra $50 off. But if you want to make your case, so you want to break this down into 2 monthly installments, 4 monthly installments, or 5 monthly installments, that's fine as well. So for the 5 monthly installments, you get to pay $150 per month for 5 months. So let's say you select the $150 and you select that tranche. The next thing you do, and just give me a moment. So after selecting the tranche, the next thing you do is that you click on secure your seat, and you can see the different payment timeline. So you pay $150 today, and then that time you make payment is on March 27th, and then April 27th you make your third payment, and there you go. So you click on proceed, you insert your payment details. As soon as you make payments, a receipt will be sent to you via email. What you want to do on that email, a link would also be attached to the email that's telling you to click on that link to complete your registration. So you can click on that link, or you can come over here and click on upload your receipt. So the upload your receipt link over here is the same link that will be sent to you via email. So once you click on that link, you upload your receipt, you fill in the details, and then you submit. Then you get a confirmation email from us with your welcome kit and everything that you need to be a part of the program, how you can be a part of the LMS, the classroom, the community, so you get started. So that's how you make payments, and you want to do that very, very quickly. You want to jump on that because, of course, the discount is only for the first 20 persons to register. So you want to jump on that quickly. Again, there's so many people who've been able to help, so many people that have gone through our program, and I came up to the other end smiling. and you can be a part of them as well. Amazing, amazing. Yes, we make dreams come true. That is what we are in the business of. That's what we do on the day-to-day. It's analytics, making dreams come true since 1999. Although in this case, since 4 years ago. So join us and let's help you achieve your dreams as well. Help you transition, get that career, and have a great life. So that will be it. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope we had an amazing time. I don't know if I have questions. So I'm gonna take a look at the chat box. If I have questions, do I have questions? So it seems no question. Okay, so Adeyemi is action for the installment payment. Do I commence the training immediately? I make the first payment, or I have to complete the payment? So you commence the training immediately. You make the first payment. So immediately you make the first payment. You start the training. So you don't have to pay everything before you start the training. So while the training is going on, you get to pay the balance. Yeah. Okay, so I think that will be it from everyone. No other question. I hope you had an amazing time. Even though you're still with me, even to this point, please send ice cream to the chat box once again. Okay, if you know you're still with me even to this point, please send ice cream to the chat box once again. I want to know those still with me. Okay, thank you very much. Akuna is still with me. Chilaya is still with me. Sade is still with me. So someone asked a question. Let's see. Ijima said I asked a question. I can't see any question. I can find any question. Okay, so maybe Ijima, you want to send your question again? Okay, because I can't find a question. Probably want to send it over again. So ice cream. I'm glad that we had an amazing time. I'm glad that that we are still here. So for those of us that might have questions that I may not be able to take in this session, all you need to do is to book a clarity session, how we can help you get a job. The link will be sent to the community. Just click on that link and go ahead to book a session. Or you can reach out to any of the admins and ask for the link to join that session. The link will be provided so you get to join the session. And so you have all of your questions answered. It's literally a Q&A session. Okay, so you can be a part of that. Ijama is asking, I have paid for the March class, but I'm yet to receive an update. Okay, so no problem, Ijama, that's fine. As long as you have uploaded your receipt, just wait a bit. So the welcome kit is on the works and you'll be sent an email very, very soon. So just keep an eye out for our email. So you receive an email very, very soon, Ijama, before the commencement of the class. Okay, so thank you, everyone. I'm glad we had an amazing time. I'm glad you had an amazing time, Choma. Right? Yes, ice cream. Yeah, so please, if you know as an adult you've not been having fun, go have some fun. You could just buy ice cream. It's simple as that. Or maybe instead, maybe you usually get just one hot dog or just one taco. Make that two tacos or make that two hot dogs. Just it's just have some fun. Yeah, it's very, very important. Adults don't. Okay. So thank you, everyone. Yvette, okay, so you want to have a chat with me. So you can just reach out to the team and they will send you a link for you to book a session. But if you want to speak with me directly, so you can send me a mail at isis@analytics.org and we can, work something out and work on a session for you. Okay, but don't forget that you can also schedule that session. So just speak with any of the admins. They'll send you that link so you get to book the one-on-one session. Okay, very, 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 very important. So Godfred is saying, a friend of mine said I can't move from doing biological science to tech data analytics. Is that true? It is not true, Godfred. It is not true. You can move. We have Tony. Maybe I'll be able to share Tony's testimonial. I'm going to share Tony's testimonial quickly. Just give me a moment. That's not true. You can transition. Tony was a pharmacist. All right, Tony was a pharmacist, and we helped Tony transition to being a data analyst, and she got a job as a data analyst in the UK. So just give me a moment. I want to pull up Tony's testimonial so we can listen to Tony together. Just give me a moment. Okay, so it's just taking some time to open up. I'm trying to bring up the testimonial so we can both hear from Tony. Okay, great. So I'm going to share my screen again so we get to see hear from Tony. So I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, so this is Tony, right? So as you can see, how I transitioned from medicine to tech. So I know you mentioned you are currently in the biology field, and that's the reason why I'm going with Tony. How Tony was able to transition from medicine to tech. Okay, so let's listen to Tony together. I believe I'm sharing audio. Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Toyin and I recently got a job as a benefits analyst in the UK. I've come from a medical background as a pharmacist who is interested in, breaking into tech. My first encounter with analytics was on LinkedIn. I joined one of their masterclass, just one masterclass where a Femina spoke, and it just took that masterclass to convince me. I joined in August, and a month after, I got a job. To be honest with you, every information skill that I was able to apply to get that job, I owe it to Tenalytics. Tenalytics did a great job and is still doing a great job. They groom you and nurture you from the cradle till you become confident. So my advice for you, most importantly, is join. Be integrated into a platform that empowers you and allows you to easily get that first job.
So that's Tony. That's Tony. That's just one. That's just one of the many persons that we've been able to help transition. Now, so that's just an example, okay? And there's so many people. So don't be don't I don't want to say don't listen to your friend, Godfriend, but in this case, don't listen to your friend. This is not just me saying it. We've been able to help Temi. Temi was a lawyer. Temi was a lawyer, and we helped Temi transition. We've been able to help Abigail. Abigail was a care worker, right? We've been able to help Ikmat. Ikmat was a stay-at-home mom before she decided to go back to the job market. And we can help you too, Godfred. Okay? All right. Any other question? Any other question? I guess not. So thank you, everyone. So Latif is asking, is the class from the beginning? Yeah, so the class starts from the beginning. So we start from basics. We don't just dive into things thinking, oh, yeah, I missed you already. So even if you're a beginner or not, there's no problem. The curriculum was made for you. So we start building you from that point where you have no knowledge to that point where you have all of the skills needed to be able to land a job. All right. So Latif, you don't have to worry about that at all. Yeah, so I guess that will be it. Thank you everyone for joining in today. I hope we had an amazing time. I know I did. I would see you all in class. I hope you go ahead to register as quickly as possible because again, as I always love to say, quick says the clock, and whatever it is you have to do, in this case, registering for Tenalytics, registering with Tenalytics, ensure you do quick. So you're part of that discount. All right. I'll see you guys some other time. Take care. Cheers.